Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to apply for a master's degree in the UK. I'm going to be introducing a 3-part series to the channel, with this video basically providing an overview of everything you need to know about applying for a master's degree in the UK, with part 2 talking about the CV and personal statement, and part 3 talking about how to actually choose a university and course, and that will basically be the series. But if you're new here, or if you haven't already, then make sure to click the subscribe button and click the bell to turn all post notifications on so that you don't miss out on a single video as soon as it goes live. If you're applying for a master's degree, then this video series is not one that you want to miss. Also, if you want access to exclusive perks such as being able to message me directly to ask a burning question regarding anything about university, UCAS, personal statements, or anything else, or the opportunity to play games with me on platforms such as PC, PS4, PS5 and the Xbox Series X, then make sure you become a channel member today. You can do so by clicking the join button below this video, and it only costs £5 a month. But without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the video, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is whether or not you actually need a master's degree. What do I mean by this? The first thing you should actually do is ask yourself, do I want a master's degree? And do I need a master's degree? Now, these are two different things. For example, you might want to do a master's degree so that your university experience doesn't come to an end after doing your undergraduate degree, but do you need that master's degree? Will that master's degree provide value to your professional career? And will it provide, let's say, a boost in salary, give you opportunities that you wouldn't be able to otherwise access? And these are questions that you must be asking yourself before you even consider going down this route. For example, I myself am currently a master's student at the University of Manchester in MA Political Science, Governance and Public Policy, after having completed an undergraduate degree in BSc Hons Management with a 2-1 from the University of Nottingham. The reason I'm doing this master's is because part of me does want to go into government, whether that be the civil service or another part of government, and so I believe that this master's degree that I'm currently doing right now will help me get into those roles that I probably wouldn't be able to get into otherwise. Not only that, I believe that having a master's degree brings added value later on in life. Not right now as a 22-year-old that I am, but maybe when I'm about 35, I believe that having a master's degree under my belt will come in handy and help separate me from those who don't have one, and therefore that is one of the reasons why I'm doing a master's degree personally. And so you should start by asking yourself, what can I say to myself that will make me feel like I can actually justify doing a master's degree? Now, once you've asked yourself, should I do a master's degree, and you've come to the conclusion of yes, I should, the next thing you should ask yourself is, where should I do my degree and what should I do it in? These are two very important things, as whilst the subject that you do your master's degree isn't as important, the university that you do it at is very important, as the first thing you should know is that your master's degree university should be better than the one you did your undergraduate at. You want to show a level of progression. For example, let's say your undergraduate degree university is around here in the rankings. You want to go a step up when it comes to your postgraduate university. You don't want to go down. For example, you wouldn't want to go from the University of Nottingham to Nottingham Trent University. You would want to, for example, like I did, go from the University of Nottingham to the University of Manchester, the University of Warwick, LSE, Imperial, Oxford, etc. You want to go above. The reason for this is because not only are you paying more of your own money for this degree, you really want to make this worth it. And to make it worth it, you want to basically show recruiters and employers that when you are finishing up your educational career, as most people won't go beyond the master's degree, you were going and doing better at every step. You weren't going and panicking into a master's for any reason. I don't know, let's say because COVID, you were worried about the graduate job market, or for example, you didn't want your university experience to end. Instead, you want to show that I showed a great deal of capability at my undergraduate degree. I got a 2-1 or above, which I'm going to get into in a bit, from a reputable university, or even if it's a non-Russell group, I want to show that I can now do even better and still perform well at a better university where there's more rigor in the course and at the university itself, and still succeed. Essentially, that is what you're trying to sell. Now, my recommendations for looking at how good a university or university course are would be to look at two different rankings, the Shanghai rankings and the QS World University rankings. Notice how I mentioned global rankings and not national ones, for example from the Complete University Guide. The reason for this is because the global rankings are important in the sense that, let's say later on in life, an opportunity comes to go work in America or Singapore. You want your university to be recognized. You want the person from America or Singapore to be like, oh, the University of Warwick, the University of Manchester, I know that name. You don't want someone to look at it and be like, sorry, what is that? And for them to have to Google your university name to see that it's just another university in the UK. After all, countries such as America look to recruit specialized people rather from abroad, and so the better university that you go to, the more specialized you'll look and the better chances you'll have with all of this. And especially when you're competing against people from those native countries who may have went to, I don't know, MIT or UCLA and other top universities in other countries. So essentially, you want to be the cream of the crop. I just briefly touched upon getting a 2-1 or above in your undergraduate degree. And with Russell Group universities, as well as Oxbridge, Cambridge not being in the Russell Group, for example, and let's say Bath, Lancaster, most of these universities will require a 2-1 or above to study a master's degree there. And so you need to make sure that you do have a 2-1 or above in your undergraduate degree if you want to study at one of these reputable universities. Now, I myself only scraped a 2-1. However, despite scraping a 2-1, I did manage to get 6 out of 9 offers, and they were all from Russell Group universities. I will be covering this more in part 2 of my video, where I talk about the CV and personal statement, as I believe that it is my personal statement that helped me get offers despite my transcript looking a bit sticky at the time. But once you have that 2-1, the opportunities are basically endless. And with master's degrees, the grade that you achieve here doesn't mean as much as it does at undergraduate, because a lot of jobs actually don't require a master's degree. They will simply ask for a 2-1 or above in an undergraduate degree, and so having a master's degree is just that added bonus. And so with that in mind, you may decide to do something that you feel you can get at least a pass in. So whereas a pass at undergraduate level is 40% or above, with an honours being 50% or above, a pass at master's level is at 50% or above. 40% is actually a fail at master's level. You must get a minimum of 50% at a master's degree to achieve a master's degree. And if you don't achieve 50%, but let's say you achieve within 40% boundary, then you can get a postgraduate certificate, which isn't quite a full master's degree, but it is a form of postgraduate qualification. However, don't let that put you off, because although you do have to get a higher grade at master's degree than you would at undergraduate, and with master's degrees being harder than they are with undergraduate degrees, the pressure is a bit less, in the sense that if you do get in the 50% boundary, then chances are you will be fine as long as you have a 2-1 or above at undergraduate level, as again, master's degrees aren't typically needed, and even when they are, employers usually just ask for a master's degree, and they don't say, oh, you need this in your master's, you need to have done this in your master's at this university. They literally just say, oh, as long as you've got a master's degree, you should be fine. But with that being said, I still do encourage getting a master's degree from as reputable for university as possible, purely due to the fact that you're going to be competing against other people, and you want to stand out as part of the cream of the crop rather than someone who's at the bottom. Given the pressure to get a good grade at a master's level isn't as much as it is at undergraduate level, you can basically master in any subject. It doesn't have to be related to your undergraduate degree. For example, with me, I am a graduate in management, which is business, at undergraduate level, and right now I'm doing a master's in political science, which is politics. Politics and business are two completely different subjects. I mean, yes, they do both fall under social sciences, but they are different subjects. Is this a problem? Absolutely not. And if anything, you should use this to your advantage and sell yourself. Be like, oh, so business can synergize with politics in this way. This is why I'm doing it. I believe that it can open up blah, 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 blah. when you are going through your job application process and you are being asked questions by the interviewer as to what you're doing now, why you're doing it, do you enjoy it, etc. And that is exactly what I'm doing. For example, my dissertation, which I'm going to be starting soon, I'm going to be talking about the financial crisis from a governance perspective. So financial crisis, there's a bit businessy, but also talking about it from a politics perspective, where I'm going to be talking about the role of government within it. I have just mentioned a dissertation. The question is, do you have to do a dissertation at master's level? Most cases, if not all, yes. Because usually those that don't have a dissertation will be a postgraduate certificate and not a master's degree, which is what I was talking about before. So for example, I believe on my course, if you fail the dissertation, you don't actually achieve a master's degree. The best you can get is a postgraduate certificate. And so the dissertation on my course is between 12,000 words and 14,000 words. If I remember correctly, it is quite rigorous, and this again is why I ask you to ask yourself, do you need a master's degree? Do you want a master's degree? And to know the difference between wanting a master's degree and needing a master's degree. So now that you know that you want to do a master's degree, you kind of have an idea of the university that you want to apply for, as well as the course that you want to apply for. How exactly does the application process work? Well, it's actually quite different to the way it works at undergraduate level. You don't go onto UCAS and put a selection of 5 universities for one fee. In fact, you can apply for as many universities as you want to. And this is why I applied for a total of 9 universities, all of them being in the Russell Group. But although you can apply for as many universities as you want, some universities will charge an application fee. And not only that, it actually varies by course. What this means is that at Manchester, whereas my course, Political Science, Governance and Public Policy, didn't charge an application fee, if you head over to the business school at the University of Manchester, there are some courses that do charge an application fee. So yes, some universities do charge an application fee, but not all courses at that university will charge an application fee. So bear that in mind. And that means that, for example, let's say you apply for 9 universities, 5 of them charge an application fee, and on average it's £40 an application fee, with some being higher, some being lower, but on average it's £40 per application. You could be looking at £200 just to apply for a master's degree. So bear that in mind, because obviously this can add up very quickly. If you're from a low income background or other factors such as being a refugee, then certain universities, for example the University of Warwick, the University of Oxford, I found that had an application fee waiver process that you are able to apply for, and if accepted, you don't have to pay a penny, even though that course would typically charge an application fee. So there are some universities that are out there that are going to help you if you are in a sticky situation or if you have extenuating circumstances, but you need to research this yourself and on each university's website. There isn't like a central place that'll tell you this. It is literally dependent on the university and also on the course that you're applying for. As again, some universities may have this waiver on some courses, but on other courses they may not have this waiver. From my own experience, having applied for a master's degree, King's College London charged me £70. This was non-refundable. I didn't get an offer from King's College, and yet I did not get my £70 back for applying, so I wasted £70 there. However, the University of Manchester, where I'm currently at, did not have an application fee, and so actually I ended up going to the university where I didn't pay any money to apply for, but then I didn't go to university that I did pay money for, and quite a lot of money. £70 just to apply for a master's degree is quite a lot of money. So do bear this in mind, because obviously although you want to apply for as many universities as possible to keep your options open, you don't want to apply for all of the universities that charge a fee. Have a mixture between the universities that you apply for, but do keep it quite broad. Like I say, I applied for 9 different universities, and the courses even varied. Whilst they were around politics, some, for example, were political science, whereas others were like public administration. Very similar, but they were different degrees. So with the application process in mind, you must also know that universities will have their own deadlines for when you can apply for a master's degree. And I get asked this question quite a lot. What time is best to apply for a master's degree? I'm going to be covering this more in another video, particularly in probably part 2 or part 3. I think in part 3. For example, the University of Oxford and University of Cambridge have earlier deadlines. I think their deadlines from memory were around March, whereas University of Manchester, for my course at least, had a deadline of late July. However, don't let deadlines put you off for the most part, because actually I applied late for the University of Manchester. I applied in August after emailing the social sciences school, and they said that there were places still available for UK students. It was fully booked out essentially for international students, but they still have places for UK students, and so I was able to get a late offer thanks to this. But other universities may be like, sorry, places are closed, we're not going to take any more applications, as was the case with King's College London. So for a bit of context, the reason that I got rejected from King's College London was that when I submitted my transcript, I hadn't done my full degree at this time. They didn't think that I was going to get a 2-1. I did get a 2-1 in the end, so yeah, nice one King's College London. But with that in mind, I did actually ask them after. I was like, well, seeing I paid £70, can my application be reconsidered now that I do actually have a 2-1? And they told me that applications were no longer being taken, as all the places were taken up on their course. So some unis will accept late applications, some won't, but the best thing to do would be to check the course website, and that will be on the university's website, not in a centralized place like UCAS or Prospects. You must check the university's website. A master's degree is also different to undergraduate degree in the sense of funding. Now, with undergraduate degrees, you get both a maintenance loan and a tuition fee loan. The tuition fee loan gets paid directly to the university. The maintenance loan gets paid directly to you. You can get up to, I believe it's about £9,300 for the maintenance loan, and obviously you don't have to worry about the tuition fees because they're being paid off for you essentially, straight to the university. However, at master's level, it's not like that. You get one single loan which you have to use for both your fees and your living costs. They're not separate loans, and you must consider this because master's degrees are more expensive than undergraduate degrees. Whereas undergraduate degrees are capped at £9,250 a year, master's degrees do not have a cap from memory. For example, my course I'm paying £10,000 for, and my loan is something like £11,500. So I only have an excess of £1,500 left after paying my fees off, and my accommodation is about £5,300. Add living costs on top of that, we're looking at upwards of £8,000 that I have to fund out of my own money. Minus 1.5, there's still a lot of money that I need to cover out of my own pocket. So keep this in mind. What can you do about this? Well, at master's level, there are some universities that do have a bursary available, some don't, some literally have no financial support whatsoever for UK students, which I think is absurd. They'll have loads of support available for international students when it comes to finances, but none for UK students. Honestly, that baffs me, but that's a rant for another video. But with, for example, the University of Manchester, they had a master's bursary with a deadline of late May, but the course deadline, the application for the course, was late July, and I applied for the course in August. Keep this in mind, because although I managed to get a place on my current course after the deadline for the applications, I was not able to secure the bursary because they had fully allocated it. So I'm actually funding a lot of this master's myself, but there are funding opportunities available out there. I will leave some links in the description below to some great websites regarding rankings, funding, more information on master's degrees, and so do check that out, as it will be quite helpful. But that is going to be it for the video, guys and girls. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope it has been very informative. Like I say, this is the first video in a 3-part series. Part 2 is going to be about the personal statement and the CV, as you do need a personal statement and a CV for master's degree applications. And then part 3 is going to be about how to actually choose a university, basically narrowing down your offers and what you've applied to down to the one that you're going to accept. So if you haven't already, like I said before, then make sure to click the subscribe button and click the bell to turn all post notifications on so that you don't miss out on a single video as soon as it goes live. You do not want to miss these videos, because when I was looking to apply for a master's degree, I did have a look on YouTube. There was barely anything on this, especially compared to UCAS. If you search how to apply for UCAS, there's loads of videos. Master's degree, not so much. So trust me, make sure you subscribe, and so that you don't miss out on these videos. Make sure to also follow me on my social media handles. That's at Mahel Khan on Instagram, Snapchat and TikTok, at Mahel X on Twitter, and official Mahel Khan on Facebook. Let me know in the comments as well what videos you would like to see from me in the future. I am back. I will also have update videos saying where I've been. I know I've not uploaded in 75 days at the time of recording this video, but don't worry, I'm back. And I do also have a plan to vlog one of my days in the upcoming week at the University of Manchester. So it will be a day in the life of a University of Manchester student video, and that will be coming to this channel soon. But yeah, guys and girls, I hope you did enjoy it. Hope this video has been informative. I've been Mahel, talking to you about how to apply for a master's degree in the UK, providing you a general guide on what you need to know, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.